So I'll begin with prayer. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatrapatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinataranam. So before we begin the 14th chapter, can we just recollect some points from the 13th chapter? Do you remember some points from the 13th chapter, what we discussed? If some of you feel you can just quickly recap some points which you learned, then we'll start the 14th chapter. Because it's also important to revise. If you don't revise, then you'll forget also. Isn't it? So what is the main topic of the 13th chapter? The title was The Nature, Enjoyer and the Consciousness. Prakriti, Purusha and Kshetrajna. So that is the main topic. Right? Yes, anyone would like to share some points? You can either put it on the chat box or you can speak out. Yes, I think everybody is thinking. Okay, there is a comment coming here. Soul and super soul are not the same. Yes, so Krishna said that in the beginning of the 13th chapter, where he tells about Kshetrajna. So can you tell me why soul and super soul are not the same? Why they are different? How did Krishna prove that soul and super soul are not the same? That they're different? Which shloka proves that they're different? Yes. So there is one verse, Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. And I had given this in the quiz also. There are two Kshetrajnas. One is the soul, who is conscious only of this body. And there is super soul, who is conscious of all the bodies. Okay, Shivani has written here. Soul is a knower of single body, but super soul is a knower of all the bodies. Fire and fire particles. Yes, fire is like Krishna and fire particles are like those, the jivas. So, correct. So that's one point. So, super soul is omnipotent. Okay, is omnipotent means he can control everything, but the soul can only control something, not everything. So that is the difference between we can create tiny buildings, but God can create big universes. So that's the difference. Correct. So Purusha, Prakriti, then Kshetra, Kshetrajna. So what is Kshetra? Kshetra is the body made of elements, material elements. That is Kshetra. And Kshetrajna is the soul. And another Kshetrajna is the super soul. Okay. So what is Prakriti? So that is basically 6 points were discussed in the 13th chapter. Right. So Prakriti is nothing but the element, the material nature. The material nature which is made up of. So how many elements does the material nature have? The Prakriti has how many elements? What is the number of elements? Okay, 24. That's correct. Shivani, correct, gives the correct answer. 24. So we have to know this actually. So if you have forgotten, you can again go and read that purport from 13th chapter. I think it is 13.7, 6 and 7. Yes, 13.6 and 7, where the 24 elements of material nature are described. Okay, so it's very important. So the soul is different from these 24 elements. So soul is Kshetrajna. And Purusha is a person who thinks that I'm this body and who tries to enjoy this body. He is Purusha. So four answers we just discussed now: Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Purusha, and Prakriti. Now, two more answers are remaining. Two more questions are remaining: Jnanam and Gneyam, the knowledge and the object of knowledge. So, who is the object of knowledge, whom we are supposed to understand? Who is the object? What is to be understood in this world? There are two things. Two things are to be understood. What are those two things? What is the ultimate object which has to be understood? That's Gneyam. The answer is given in 13 point, I think 13.13, 14, 15. In that series of shlokas gives the answer to this. Okay, Mohit is correct. Mohit is telling soul and super. That's a perfect answer. The first object of knowledge is soul, and then super soul is Paramatma. Gneyam yattat pravakshami. So Krishna says that try to understand what is Gneyam. First Gneyam is Anadi Matparam Brahma, the soul which is eternal. So that is the first Gneyam. And second object of knowledge is super soul Paramatma. Okay. And what is Jnanam? Jnanam. What is Jnanam? Thirteen 13.8 to 13.12. Those five verses tell about Jnanam. What is Jnanam? And there are so many things mentioned. Okay, knowing the super soul. Of course, that is our goal of knowledge. Jnanam. He's telling servitor. Okay, so that's one. Okay. Any other options? Any other thoughts? What is Jnanam? Enjoyer. Oh, not the enjoyer. See, Jnanam is the process of knowledge, the process of understanding Atma and Paramatma. That is called as knowledge. And there are 20 items of knowledge starting from Amanitvam, humility. Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Shantir, Arjavam, right? Acharyopasanam, Socham, Sthairyam, Atma Vinigraha, Indriyarteshu Vairagyam, right? All those 20 items are listed. So by developing these qualities, one by this process of developing these qualities, one realizes Atma and Paramatma. So that is Jnanam. So in this way, these 20 qualities has to be understood. Yes, humility, pridelessness. So those are the qualities. That is Jnanam. So when you have those qualities, when you have humility, Vidya Dadati Vinayam, Vinayam, um, so when you have knowledge, it leads to humility, and humility also leads to knowledge and surrender to the Supreme Lord. Vinayam Dadati Patrata, it is said. So by developing this quality of humility, one becomes qualified to understand Supreme Lord, and one should be prideless. One should serve the Guru. One should detach oneself from sense gratification. One should understand that birth, death, old age, and disease are the real problems of life. One should stay away from materialistic people, right? One should cultivate divine knowledge. One should be determined. One should be steady. One should be. Um, so these many points are given there. One should be simple. One should do austerities. So like this, many points are told. Yeah, tolerance, simplicity, cleanliness, self-control, steadiness. That's true. So these are the qualities which are called as jnanam. Jnanam here refers to the process of attaining soul and super soul. So that is a Jnanam. Okay. So that was a quick revision. So of the 13th chapter of the 6 points which we studied last time. So today we'll go ahead. So we will start the 14th chapter. I'll open the 14th chapter on my screen. Yes. So the chapter is entitled The Three Modes of Material Nature. So today also I would want one volunteer who would like to recite and read uh, the shlokas and the translations. Who would like to volunteer? You can please raise your hands. Then I can choose you. I think last time Shivani had read, and before that somebody else, I think our Rishi and others had read. Who would like to read today? Okay, Omkar is willing. Okay. So Omkar, you have to unmute your mic and then recite after me.
Yes.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
Sri Bhagavan
Param Bhuya Pravakshami
Param Bhuya Pravashyami
Jnananam Jnanamuttamam
Jnananam Jnana Uttamam
Yajñatva Munayas Sarve
Yajnatva Munayas Sarve
Param Siddhim Itogatah.
Param Siddhim Itogataha.
Yeah, please read this.
Yes. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Again, I shall declare to you this supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection.
Yeah, so Jnananam Jnanam Uttamam Pravakshami. The Lord is telling that I'm going to tell you the topmost knowledge among all. Now, here is little something confusing. Now, Krishna has already told that bhakti is the topmost, right? Guhyatamam Jnanam, 9th chapter, Krishna said. So, how is that in 14th chapter he is telling something Uttamam? Actually, it is not something different Krishna is telling. Jnananam Jnanam Uttamam means it's actually bhakti only, but he is going to describe more in detail. Okay. By knowing which, Yajnatva Munayas Sarve Param Siddhim Ito Gataha. By understanding this knowledge, even the great sages were able to transcend the modes of material nature and reach perfection. So that's in that sense, it is better. Actually, it is same knowledge, but explained in more detail. So that's why it is called as best knowledge. So I'll give an overview of this chapter before we enter into the details of this chapter. So I had entitled this. This chapter is called Three Modes of Material Nature, and I put this photo, which I had explained last time also. There are three ladies here with strings. So there's Satoguna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. A lot of details about these three modes will be coming in this chapter. What are the qualities of the three modes? How to know which mode I am in? How to become free from the modes of nature? Right? These are some points which we'll be discussing today. So the chapter is divided like this. First four shlokas tell about the liberation and conditioning of living entities, how the living entities get conditioned uh, in this material world, what binds them to this material world. So that we will see. And then the modes bind the pure soul in this world. That will be more detailed explained between shloka number 5 to 9. Recognizing a mode's supremacy. Which mode is superior? Satoguna, Rajoguna, or Tamoguna? So at different times, different modes are superior. So that we will see. And acting and dying within the three modes. What will happen to how does a person in the modes act? And what destination a person in the different modes get? If a person dies in Satoguna, then where he will go? So those descriptions come from verse number 14 to 18. And then the last section is transcending the modes, how to get free from the modes of material nature. Because the modes are the cause of bondage, so how to get out of it. So that will be explained in the last section. So the acronym is very simple, TRAP, T-R-A-P. Right? The modes trap us, three modes bind us. So T means the three modes. Mode is a translation of the Sanskrit word guna. which literally means thread or a rope. Actually, sattva guna or mode of goodness. So gunas are translated into English as modes. Okay, which literally means thread or a rope. The three modes influence a person's character, behavior, and approach to life. The rays of prominence are, and sometimes Satuguna comes top, sometimes Rajaguna comes top, and sometimes Tamoguna is on top. So there is always a tussle between the three. So that will be discussed. And actions in the modes. How does a person in Sattva, Raja, and Tamoguna act? And the last one, pure life. How to get freed from the modes and attain spiritual world. So that will be the last section. So these are the basic points which we'll be discussing today. So the connection between 13th chapter and 14th chapter is verse number 13.22. So in 13.22, Krishna had told about three modes of nature. See 13.22. Purusha prakritisto hi bhunkte prakriti jan gunan. Karanam gunasangasya sad asad yoni janvasu. So the Purusha, the enjoyer, the living entity who wants to enjoy this material world, Prakritisto hi bhunkte prakriti jan gunan. He is trying to enjoy the three modes. And because of the desire to enjoy the three modes, he gets bound and he gets sad asad yoni janmasu. He gets birth in higher or lower species of life. So Arjuna wanted to know more about how the living entity is conditioned by the three modes. So this verse becomes the connection to the 14th chapter, where Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. So this chapter is called as Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. So we will discuss this chapter now. So Prabhupada writes here, the Lord now explains the same knowledge in a better way. This knowledge is far, far superior to all other processes of knowledge thus far explained. And knowing this, many attain perfection. So the knowledge of bhakti will be explained in a much better way. Thus, it is expected that one who understands this 14th chapter will attain perfection. So, are you ready to understand this chapter now? To attain perfection? Shall we go ahead?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So, Krishna is creating curiosity. That one should be curious to understand this knowledge. In the beginning and end of chapter, generally Krishna gives some points by which curiosity is increased. So, Omkar, you can recite after me. Idam jnanam upashritya
Idam jnanam upashritya
mama sadharmyam agataha
mama sadharmya agataha
sargepi nopajayante
sargepi nopajayante
pralaye na vyathanti cha.
pralaye na vyathanti cha.
Yes, please read this.
By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature, which is like my own nature. Thus established, one is not born at the time of a creation, not disturbed at the time of a dissolution.
Hmm. So at the time of creation, he is not born. Means one who understands this knowledge, he doesn't take birth again. And when the time of death comes, he is not disturbed. Pralaya na vetanti cha. And sargepi no upajayante, and he will not be born at the time of death. Where he will go? Mama sadharmyam. Sadharmya refers to Krishna's abode. So he will go to his nature. Means he will attain spiritual nature and the spiritual world by understanding this knowledge. Okay. So the spiritual world is also full of variety. Right? That will be explained later in the next chapter, 15th chapter. There is a description of the spiritual world in the 15th chapter. So it is not a place where there is nothing, simply light. No, it is a place of variety, and a devotee can really experience the greatest happiness in that spiritual world. There is a lot of variety, where there are kalpavruksha trees. The water is like nectar. Time doesn't flow there. Every walk is a dance. Every speech is a song. right? And the rivers of nectarian Surabhi cow's milk flows there. So it's a very amazing place. And Krishna does wonderful pastimes with his gopas and gopis and so many mothers and fathers there in the spiritual world. So that's a place full of variety. So mama sadharmyam agataha. So a devotee will go to that place, the eternal place. So now Arjun is asking, okay, Krishna, you said that how does this creation happen? Well, in the previous verse, he mentioned about creation, how the living entities get their bodies. So he had this question in the mind. So Krishna answers it. Mama yonir brahma
मम योनिर्महद् ब्रह्म
tasmin garbham dadamyaham
तस्मिन् गर्भं ददाम्यहम्
sambhavas sarva bhutanam
सम्भव सर्वभूतानां
tato bhavati bharata.
ततो भवति भारत.
Yeah, please read.
The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata.
Hmm. So the Lord impregnates this Mahad Yonir Mama Yonir Mahad Brahma. So here the Brahma refers to Prakriti or the original matter. Lord glances on it and then impregnates. So I'll show you a photo here which tells this process. You see here, the Lord impregnates Prakriti. Mama Yonir Mahad Brahma Tasmin Garbham Tatamiham. Lord Vishnu, Mahavishnu, lying on the causal ocean, Karana ocean, he glances at Prakriti, and that Prakriti is called as Shambhu. So when he glances at Prakriti, the Prakriti starts getting agitated and she produces a lot of varieties, right? So initially she is in an unmanifest form. The Prakriti is unmanifest form. And when the Lord glances, it starts producing varieties. And then different elements are separated and then the elements are combined and then different bodies are made. So that's the process actually. So the glance of Vishnu is nothing but the jivas are impregnated into Maya Shakti. So the Maya Shakti is represented by Durga Devi. So the Lord takes the form of a glance. That glance is called Shambhu. So Shambhu, Vishnu doesn't directly touch Durga. He takes the form of Shambhu and touches Durga. So that is the connection between Vishnu and Shambhu. In one sense, Vishnu and Shambhu or Shiva, they are same only. Vishnu is like milk and Shiva is like curd. When you treat milk with some acid, then it becomes curd. Similarly, when Lord Vishnu wants to touch Prakriti and create and make the creation happen, so then he takes the form of Shambhu in the form of glance and impregnates Durga. So that's called Durga is called Prakriti. And that glance is also called Kala. So another name of Shiva is also Kala. So like Mahakal, they say. So when the time factor touches Durga, then Durga starts manifesting variety by the agitation of the modes. So initially, the entire matter is called Pradhana. Okay, I'll now systematically explain the process. There is a there is spiritual world and there is material world. So the material world is it is like a cloud in one corner of the spiritual world. It's like a cloud, and initially it is in the pradhana form, unmanifest form. Means you cannot see all the elements separately. But when the Lord glances and the three modes in the Prakriti starts becoming active, then the variety is formed. Then the 24 elements get separated. So that separated form or activated form of Pradhana is called as Prakriti. And then the Lord enters into the Prakriti by as Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Like he creates different universes and he enters inside as Garbhodaksha Vishnu. And then he arranges within the universe different planetary systems, the 14 planetary systems. And then he creates Brahmaji. And then Brahmaji is given the task of creating the bodies. So with the Prakriti, with the 24 elements, Brahmaji takes different elements and mixes them and produces 84 lakh species. So the initial creator is Vishnu, Mahavishnu, and then the secondary creator is Brahmaji. So in this way, all the creation is made possible. Like for example, those who know cooking, you while making chapatis, you make atta, right? So when you make an atta, you can make biscuits also out of it. You can take uh, s- some portion and you can make a round biscuit, or you make a flat biscuit. You can make a star biscuit. You can make different shapes. So that atta, which you have mixed, that's called as that's like pradhana. From that, you can take and you can mix it and make different forms. So that is like creating from pradhana. You are taking different elements and making giving different forms to it. So similarly, Brahmaji takes the different elements and makes different bodies. So that is the way the creation happens. So the creation made by Lord Vishnu is called as Sarga, and the creation done by Brahmaji is called as Visarga. So Brahmaji is a secondary creator, and Lord Vishnu is the primary creator. Okay. So that's what is explained here through this photograph. So Lord is glancing at Prakriti. So in the next shloka, Krishna says, so shloka number 4, Krishna is the father and Prakriti is the mother of all jivas. Sarvayonishu kaunteya
सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय
मूर्तया संभवन्ति याः
मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति या
तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिर्
तासां ब्रह्ममहर्योनिः
अहं बीजप्रदः पिता.
अहं बीजप्रदः पिता.
Yeah, can you read this translation? Yes,
It
Omkar,
should be
can you?
understood that all species of yes, Prabhu. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed giving father.
Yeah, what is that seed? Seed is nothing but jivas, the living entities. So the Lord gives the jivas and then the Prakriti gives the body. Okay, so Krishna is the original father of all living entities. In this verse, it is clearly explained that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the father of all living entities. So he is the original father. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva. Right? We have that shloka where it says that you are the mother and you are the father. Everything is you. So the living entities are combinations of the material nature and the spiritual nature. So and such living entities are found everywhere, in every part of the world. Right? Yeah, Parvati is telling her. The purport is that material world is impregnated with living entities who come out in various forms at the time of creation according to their past deeds. So those jivas who have desired to enjoy separately from Krishna, they are given material bodies according to their desire and according to their past karma. Right? So at the time of dissolution, all the living entities enter into the Lord's body. At the time of creation, again they are given new bodies according to the previous karma they have done. So in this way, creation and destruction, it goes on happening. So now, how exactly the living entity gets bound? That we will try to see here. Yeah. So you see here, below you will see that aquatics are becoming reptiles and then becoming uh, four-legged animals and then humans like that. So you may say this is Darwinism. No, this is not Darwinism, but it means that the soul is evolving from one species to another species. What Darwin says is one species changes to another species. That is not true. But the soul can change its body. I can give this human body and take a demigod body. Right? So it's possible for me. Like you have a car, you can give up that car and take a new car. But you don't change. But what Darwin says that the car only changes. No? Maruti car will become a Honda car, then Honda car will become a BMW car. That's what Darwin says. But that is not true. But the driver can change different cars. So similarly, all the souls are coming from Krishna. Aham bija pradapita. So that's what Lord is telling here. And the Lord impregnates Durga in the form of Shambhu, and then different bodies are formed. See here, so many species, birds, aquatics, animals, flowers, humans. Right? So these are all different species of life. Now the question Arjuna had in his mind was how the living entity gets conditioned in this material world. So answer to that question starts from here. Satvam rajastama iti
Sattvam rajastama iti
गुणाः प्रकृति संभवाः
guna prakriti sambhavaha
निबध्नन्ति महाबाहो
nibadanti mahabaho
देहे देहिनम् अव्ययम्.
dehe dehina avyayam.
Please read.
Material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in a contact with a nature, Almighty Arjuna, he becomes a condition by these modes.
Sattvam, Rajas, Tama. Three are. Sattva is called goodness, Rajas is passion, Tama is ignorance. So these three gunas, they bind. Nibadnanti. Nibadnanti means, badnanti means to bind the living entity. Dehe, dehinam. They bind the living entity. Dehinaha. Dehinaha means the soul inside the body. Deha means this body. Dehe, they bind the living entity inside this body, Krishna says. Becomes conditioned by these three modes. You will see here, these two people are strung by different ropes. And you will see that all three ropes are binding all three people. Means that we are in a mixture of goodness, passion, and ignorance. We are not purely in goodness, not purely in passion, not purely in ignorance. There is a mixture of these three. And one of them will be prominent. So that's what this photograph indicates. Okay. Now we will see what are the characteristics of these three gunas. So how the gunas bind the living entity. So let's see about goodness. Yeah. So here you see this person is shackled with this handcuffs. So he cannot become free. Similarly, somebody is bound with these three modes, he cannot become free. He will act according to the mode. Like some people act in a lusty way. They're always lusty. Whatever they see, they want to enjoy. And some people are always greedy. They want more and more and more. Why? Because they have cultivated the mode of passion. And the passion person wants more and more and more. Right? And some people always want to sleep. You give them some free time, they'll sleep. Why? Because they have cultivated mode of ignorance. So in that way, the three modes bind the person. So Sattva means one who is happy. One is happy in Sattva. And another is very active. Passion person, he wants you to keep doing something, he's always running around. And ignorance person is always helpless. He cannot think what to do. So he feels himself very helpless. So these are the three qualities. Now, how the modes bind the pure jiva? So that's explained between 6, 7, 8 and 9 sloka. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat
Tatra sattvam nirmalatva
prakashakamanayam
prakashakamannamayam
sukasangena badnati
sukasangena baddhati
jnanasangena chanaga.
yana sangena chanaga.
So let me see if translation is there. Yeah, translation is here. Yeah, please read this. Yes, Omkar, can you read this?
Yes, also in this one, the mode of goodness being purer than the others is illuminating and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode becomes a condition by sense of a happen and knowledge.
Happiness and knowledge. So
Okay, not really.
Sattva is better. Sattuguna is best among three. Prakashakam anamayam. It frees from all sinful reactions. Because a person in Sattuguna will not do papa. He will do only good things. Like many people's photo is put here. They are all in Sattuguna. They also always wanted to do good to others. They didn't want to harm others. So that's better. Sattva is best among all. But it is also binding because it gives a sense of happiness. Sukha sangena badnati, jnana sangena chanega. Those situated in mode become conditioned by sense of happiness and knowledge. They will think because they are living a pure life, they don't have much problems in their body. Right? They don't have diseases, they don't have anxiety, tension, and they feel life is very happy. So they don't feel the urgency to go back home, back to Godhead, because they feel this world is good. So that's the problem. So Sukha Sangena Badnati, Jnana Sangena Chanaga. And they have the kind of sense of knowledge, what is right and what is wrong. Basically, that sense of knowledge. And they always choose the right thing and they don't get into trouble. So, because of that, they get bound to this material world and they cannot cross the clutches of death. They again are born in a different body in the next life. So, that's why Sattuguna is also a bondage. It is said that Sattuguna is like a iron, sorry, Sattuguna is like golden shackles, right? One is handcuffed by golden shackles, and Rajoguna is like somebody is being handcuffed by uh, silver shackles, and then Tamaguna is like somebody is handcuffed by iron shackles. So in that way, but shackle is a shackle. Golden shackle may feel very nice, but it's also bondage. So that's how the mode of goodness also binds a person to this material world. So let's go to the next verse. Yeah. रजो रागात्मकं विद्धि
रजो रागात्मकं विद्धि
तृष्णा संगसमुद्भवम्
तृष्णा संग समुद्भवम्
तन्निबध्नाति कौन्तेय
तन्निबन्धन्ति कौन्तेय
कर्मसंगेन देहिनम्.
कर्मसंगेन देहिनम्.
So can you read this translation?
Yes. The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of a Kunti, and because of this, the embodied living entity is bound to material fruitive actions.
Hmm. So here you will see in this photograph, this fellow is at the bottom. He is, I don't know what he's doing, so excited. Maybe he got a lottery or something. He is very passionate. And here you will see there some people are eating meat and they are having illicit connections with women. And some one person is jumping high from the top of a mountain, like highly passionate activities. Trishna Sangha Samudbhavam. And Ragatmakam, it increases one's attachments. Ragatmakam Vidhi. Trishna Sangha. Trishna means longing. I want something. I want this. I want this. No? Like child, he wants a toy. He's Trishna. Trishna means thirst. Like when you're thirsty, you want water. Similarly, when one has material desires, he's thirsty for those material objects. So he wants a laptop or he wants a mobile, he wants a car. So that is Trishna. And Sangha means attachment. So in this way, the mode of passion binds a person to fruitive actions. Karma Sangena Dehinam. Let's see about Tamoguna. Tamastvajnanajam vidhi
समस्त्वाम् अज्ञानजं विद्धि
mohanam sarvadehinam
मोहनं सर्वदेहिनं
प्रमादालस्य निद्राभि
प्रमाद आलस्य निद्राभि
तन्निबध्नाति भारत.
तन्निबध्नाति भारतः.
Yeah, please read this.
O son of Bharata, know that the mode of darkness, born of ignorance, is the delusion of all embodied living entities. The result of this mode are madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul.
Hmm. So you will see in this photograph, one person is crying. Only the eyes are visible, water is falling. And this person has gone mad. I miss you. Maybe something like maybe his girlfriend has ran away somewhere and he's getting mad. And here this girl is getting scared. And this fellow is sleeping. No? His head is dropping, you see, and he's yawning. So madness, indolence means laziness, alasya, and nidra, sleep. So in this way, the mode of ignorance keep the person inactive, helpless. So ignorance person is helpless, passionate person is active, and goodness person is happy. He is satisfied. So these are the this is the way in which the three modes bind a person to this living entity. See, the jiva desires to enjoy separately from Krishna. When he desires to enjoy separately, then the Lord puts them under the control of three modes, and the three modes bind him. So how they bind him is in this way, what we discussed in the last three shlokas. Satvam sukhe sanjayati,
Tattvam sukhe sanjayanti.
rajah karmani bharata,
Raja karmani bharata.
jnanam avritya tu tamah,
Jnanam avrutya tatmaha.
pramade sanjayatyuta.
Pramade sanjayottutaha.
Please read.
O son of Bharata, the mode of goodness conditions one to happiness, passion conditions one to fruitive actions, and ignorance covering one's knowledge binds one to madness.
So you will see this top person. He is smiling, he is very happy, satisfied, no tension. And this fellow below, he is wanting to do some stunts. You'll see he is taking his bike and daredevil stunts he is doing. And third person, he is hanging himself. My God. So means what? If person is committing suicide means he has come under the control of mode of ignorance. He has cultivated the association in such a way. He is doing activities in tamoguna, and because of which he feels suicidal tendencies. He feels helpless and hopeless. That's why he commits suicide. So when we preach to people, we should elevate them from mode of ignorance and passion to the mode of goodness. And by chanting Hare Krishna in the mode of goodness, one can transcend and go above goodness to the mode of uh, Sattva, which is called as Vishuddha Sattva, pure goodness. So that is the goal of spirituality actually. The goal of spirituality is not to remain in the modes, but to transcend the modes. Yeah. So Prabhupada says here in this purport, a person in the mode of goodness is satisfied by his work or intellectual pursuit, just as philosopher, scientist, or educator may be engaged in a particular field of knowledge and may be satisfied in that way. So these three people are in mode of goodness. Prabhupada is giving some examples like philosophers, scientists, or even teachers, educators. They are in mode of goodness. A man in the mode of passion may be engaged in some fruitive activity. He owns as much as he can and spends for good causes. Okay, he wants more and more money and he like to spend also. Sometimes he tries to open hospitals, give to charity, institutions, etc. These are the signs of one in the mode of passion. Okay, he want to do something for the society also. That's passion. And the mode of ignorance covers the knowledge. In the mode of ignorance, whatever one does is neither good for him nor for anyone. Right? So if committing suicide is not good for him nor to others. So it only causes disturbance to others. So that's why mode of activities in the mode of goodness are the best. Okay. So then Krishna says that there is constant competition between the three modes. So let's see. Okay. So we'll read this verse. Rajas tamascha vibhuya
Rajastamascha bhuya.
Sattvam bhavati bharata.
Sattvam bhavati bharata.
Rajas sattvam tamaschaiva.
Rajas sattvam tamaschaiva.
Tamas sattvam rajastatha.
Tamas sattvam rajastatha.
Yeah.
Sometimes the mode of goodness becomes prominent, defeating the modes of passion and ignorance. O son of Bharata. Sometimes the mode of passion defeats the goodness and ignorance, and at other times, ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always competition for supremacy.
Hmm. So that's called as race for prominence, competition for supremacy. Sometimes sattva, sometimes rajas. There's constant race. Right? You will see here tug of war. Right? One side there is a white angel and another says demon. So white one you can consider to be like sattva, and the other side there is tamoguna and rajoguna, and constant pulling is happening this side and that side. Now here's the question: have you faced this tug of war between your good and bad habits or higher and lower nature? Hmm? Like sometimes mind says do this bad habit, bad activity, uh, and there is another side saying, oh, don't do this. How many of you faced this tug of war? Please raise your hands or you can type on the chat box. Did you face? Okay, okay. Many are telling yes, 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 yes. So that's the mode. Satoguna is telling, do good thing, and Rajoguna is telling, oh, do this bad thing. So it is constant tug of war sometimes, right? And which one wins? The good wins or the bad wins? In this tug of war between the Satoguna and Tamoguna and Rajoguna, which generally wins? Sattva or Rajas and Tamas? Acha, good wins. Okay, Himraj is telling good.
Depend upon situation.
Okay, Omkar is saying depends on situation. Okay, Dr. Harshamad is telling the one we feed more. Yes, the one we feed more, the one which we have cultivated more strongly, that wins. Like sometimes people know that doing a wrong habit is not good for him, but still they end up doing it. Why? Because sattva is less and rajoguna and tamoguna is more. Yeah, in some cases rajas may be more and rajas wins. And sometimes tamoguna may be more, tamoguna wins. Like for example, if tomorrow you have your exam and the mind is telling today so jayenge, I want to sleep a lot. But the goodness says, hey, don't sleep too much. Tomorrow is your exam, study nicely. So there is tamoguna and and satoguna, both in tug of war. And what wins is the mode which you have cultivated. Right? Suppose you want to get up early in the morning and you put the alarm, I want to get up at 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. But at 4 o'clock, when the alarm rings, ring, ring, it rings, no? Whatever the music it may make. And what is my response in the morning? If I become angry, then snooze it. So that's called passion. We get up in passion. And sometimes we look at the alarm and we switch off the alarm and go to sleep. Instead of getting up at 4 o'clock, one gets up at 7 o'clock. And then he laments, oh, why did I get up so late? I wasted so much of time. So because he was under the control of tamoguna. And a person in sattva what he will do? He'll look at the alarm and he will immediately get up. Right? So that is sattvic behavior. So we can change the modes by habit. By cultivating mode of goodness repeatedly over a long period of time, one can overcome the mode of passion and ignorance. That's possible. Right? So this tug of war can be overcome. Generally, people are overcome by Rajoguna because Rajoguna is very strong and powerful. That desire to do something, achieve something, show oneself to be great, that is very much deep rooted in the living entity. And most of the people are in Rajoguna. Some are in Tamoguna and very few in Satoguna. Okay. So here a comment is written, in this competition, one mode wins over other based on the psychology of the person. Okay. Okay. Now recognizing which mode is prominent right now, right? At any given time, how to find out which mode is greater. So that we will see here. Rajastamashcha sattvam bhavati bharata, rajasattvam tamaschaiva tamasattvam rajastata, that we already saw. So here 11th shloka. Sarvadvareshu dehesmin
सर्वद्वारेषु देहेऽस्मिन्
prakashopajayate
प्रकाशोपजायते
jnanam yada tada vidyad
ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्यात्
विवृद्धं सत्त्वमित्युता.
विवृद्धं सत्वम इति उच्यते.
Yeah, I'll open the shloka here. Yeah, please read this.
The manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge.
Yeah, so what are the gates of the body? The two eyes, two nostrils, mouth, two ears. There are seven. And below part, there is the genitals and the anus. So these are the 9 gates of the body. So when all the gates, what is the meaning of all the gates are illuminated by knowledge? It means what? The gates refuse to take any wrong inputs. The mouth will not like to eat any non-veg item. It will not like to touch any tamasic or rajasic items. Right? It will eat only sattvic, prasadam. So that's the meaning of the mouth is illuminated. And the ears will like to hear only pure subject matter. It will not like to hear gossip, criticism, or rock and roll music like that. So that means the ears are illuminated. Eyes will not want to see anything bad, right? They will want to see the darshan of the Lord. They want to meet good people. They want to see darshan of good people. So that is the illumination of the eyes. So in this way, all the senses, when they are illuminated, they will not do any sinful activities. He is in Sattva. Okay. So that's what Prabhupada writes in the purport. Yeah, next one, 12th sloka, you will see. Lobha pravritirarambha
लोभ प्रवृत्ति आरंभ
karmanam ashamaspruha.
कर्मणा कर्मणा शम स्पृहा.
Yeah, ashamaspruha means unsatiable desire. Ashamaspruha. Rajasetani jayante
रजसेतानि जायन्ते
vivruddhe bharatarshava.
विवृद्धे भरतर्षभ.
Please read.
O chief of the Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of a passion, the symptoms of a great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, and the uncontrollable desire and hankering develop.
Hmm. So this is the mode of passion. Great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor. You'll work hard, 12 hours, 14 hours. And uncontrollable desire and hankering. Sometimes the pushing will be so strong within the heart, he cannot control. He will somehow or the other do it. So that intense desire for sense gratification, basically for sense gratification. Like in the midnight, he will get some desire to eat. He will go to hotel and somewhere and then somehow eat it. With that intense desire, the tongue will pull him far away to some hotel to eat something. So in this way, all the senses can be pulled towards the sense objects. So that's called as passion. And there is no end. Right? Ashamaspruha, there is no end to sense gratification. It is like fire and putting petrol into the fire. It keeps on growing, growing, growing. So this is the mode of passion. Even if suppose somebody is getting salary of 30,000 per month, he wants 50,000. So he works hard and starts earning 50,000, but still is not happy. Now he wants 70,000. So it keeps on increasing, unsatiable lust. Okay, let's see the quality of tamoguna. Aprakasho apravrittischa
अप्रकाशो अप्रवृत्तिश्च
pramado moha evacha
प्रमादो मोह एव च
tamasyetani jayante
तमस्येतानि जायन्ते
vivruddhe kuru nandana.
विवृद्धे कुरु नन्दन.
Yeah, please read.
When there is an increase in the mode of ignorance, O son of Kuru, darkness, inertia, madness, and illusion are manifested.
Yeah. So what are that? Darkness, inertia, madness, and illusion. Right? So these are manifested. Tamasi, pramada, moha, and aprakasha means darkness. He doesn't know what is right, what is wrong. So those are the symptoms of tamasic person. Okay. Now having seen these things, okay, we will read up to shloka number 17 and then we'll do some activity. So after this, there is a description of a person who dies in the three modes. Can you read this translation?
When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attends to the pure higher planets of the great sages.
Yeah. So higher planets means what? There is Mahar Loka, Janu Loka, Tapoloka, Satya Loka. There are 14 planetary systems. Bhuloka is in the middle. Above Bhuloka is Bhuvar Loka. And above Bhuvar Loka is Swarga Loka. Then Mahar Loka, Janu Loka, Tapoloka, and Satya Loka. So these are the higher planetary systems. So you can go to higher planets. And here he writes the word Amalan. Lokan Amalan Pratipadyate. Mala means dirt. Amala means without any dirt. So passion and ignorance are considered to be dirty. Right? So Amalan means the place where a lot of goodness is prevalent. So that is Janaloka, Tappaloka, and Satyaloka, the higher planetary systems. Okay. Yeah, read this one.
When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in the fruitive activities. And when one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom.
Yes. So passionate person takes birth in those engaged in fruitive activities, generally human birth. Okay, on the earthly planet. And one in the mode of ignorance takes birth in animal kingdom. Mudha yoni. Mudha yonishu means animal species. That is his destination. Okay, so that's why one should never cultivate tamaguna. If one cultivates tamaguna, then he will go into animal planets or animal bodies. Okay, so it's not that anybody can go anywhere. No, according to the modes he has cultivated, he will get a next body. Okay, so Prabhupada writes here. Therefore, those who are actually serious about human life should take to the mode of goodness, and in the association transcend the modes and become situated in Krishna consciousness. That is the aim of human life. Otherwise, there is no guarantee that the human being will again attain the human status. Like for example, now we all have got human bodies. There is no guarantee that in the next life we can be humans. It depends upon what kind of modes I am cultivating. If I cultivate tamoguna, then I can become an animal. Uh, like when I die and I open my eyes in the next life, I may have four legs, and I may not be able to speak. Right. So that is the quality of ignorance. And in passionate person, then he may be born in some highly active Rajasic family. Sattvic person, he may be elevated to heavenly planets. So that's why one should take the human life very seriously and try to practice Krishna consciousness right now very seriously, so that in the next life he will not take birth again at all. He will go back to spiritual world. That is the goal of human life. So we'll read 16th and 17th also. Yeah, please read this.
The result of pious action is a pure and is said to be in the mode of goodness. But action done in the mode of passion results in a misery, and action performed in the mode of ignorance result in a foolishness.
Hmm. Okay. Pure action is goodness action. And action which leads to misery is passionate action. And action which is foolish is in tamoguna. So these are the three activities. The Prabhupada gives some examples here. He says here, yeah, so a person in mode of passion, uh, like there may be little so-called mental happiness. I have this house or this money, but that is not actual happiness. A person in mode of passion, he works hard, earns money, and builds a home, and he feels now I have got a home. But the problem is he cannot stay there because he gets transferred to some other place. I have seen so many families where they have built big homes, but they don't have any happiness, right? So I know one person who built a home, and he had 4 children, so he built room for every child. But now all the children, they have gone for higher studies somewhere. They have gone to different cities, and um, husband and wife, only two of them are staying there in the big home. And it's difficult to maintain also. It becomes a burden on them. So the happiness is not actual happiness. And the mode of ignorance, it's very miserable. Yeah, Prabhupada says here, animal life is miserable. under the spell of illusion and Maya, the animals do not understand this. Right? Slaughtering poor animals is also due to mode of ignorance. Okay, first point is animal life is itself miserable. Like in the dog body, there's no guarantee where you'll get your food. Right? And sometimes you get very stale food. Sometimes some people may throw stones and and drive the dog away. So there's not much happiness in the mode of in the animal body. So that's one kind of misery. And another misery is slaughtering of animals. That is also in the mode of ignorance. People who are killing animals, they are in ignorance. The animal killers what do not know that in the future the animals will have a body suitable to kill them. That is the law of nature. In human society, if one kills a man, he has to be hanged. Right? In human, if somebody kills a human, then he is given capital punishment. That is the law of the state. Because of ignorance, people do not perceive that there is complete state controlled by Supreme Lord. So they don't know that there is a universal government where punishment is awarded to every killer, even the animal killer. Every living creature is a son of Supreme Lord and he does not tolerate even an ant being killed. One has to pray for it, pay for it. Means if one kills an ant also, still he gets punishment. So indulgence in animal killing for taste of tongue is grossest kind of ignorance. A human being has no need to kill animals because God has supplied so many nice things. If one indulges in meeting anyway, it is to be understood that he is acting in ignorance and making his future very dark. Okay. And of all kinds of animal killing, the killing of cows is most vicious because the cow gives us all kinds of pleasure by supplying milk. Cow slaughter is grossest type of ignorance. Hare Krishna. So today we had gone to the village and we spent some time in Goshala of one of our devotees. So amazing. Cow is such an amazing creature. Especially when you see the cow and the calf together. No? The calf was drinking the milk of the cow and we were having nice time doing kirtan in the field. So it was amazing. So how can person kill such an innocent creature like a cow? So it is the most grossest type of sinful activity. So that's what Prabhupada is telling here. So does it mean that if someone commits suicide, he gets birth in animal kingdom? Shivani is asking. Uh, Generally, he gets a ghostly body. More actually, if somebody commits suicide, he gets more suffering than even the animal body. He gets a ghost body, means he doesn't have a gross body only. Because he destroyed his gross body, the punishment is he will not get the gross body. So he'll be whoring without any gross body, only in the subtle body. He is thirsty but cannot drink. He is hungry but he cannot eat. He wants to speak but he cannot speak because there is no mouth. There is no gross mouth. So in this way, he has to suffer without any body for rest of his life. Of course, there is a duration of life which he has to suffer, and then he'll get again a body. So we'll read one more verse. Yeah, can you read this?
Yeah. From the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From the mode of passion, greed develops. And from the mode of ignorance develops foolishness, madness, and illusion.
Yeah. So, correct. So Prabhupada says here, very wonderful point he says. It is in the middle of the purport. So mode of ignorance is irresponsible, animal life. Okay, mode of passion is also not so good. So Prabhupada is telling everybody should practice Krishna consciousness. Okay. When they are actually educated in the mode of goodness, they will become sober in full knowledge of things as they are. Then people will be happy and prosperous. Even if the majority of the people aren't happy and prosperous, if a certain percentage of the human population develops Krishna consciousness and becomes situated in mode of goodness, then there is the possibility for peace and prosperity all over the world. So Prabhupada is telling this. If even a small percentage, Prabhupada sometimes said even if 1%, so world population is 7 billion. If 1% is like 70 million. Even if 1% becomes Krishna conscious, they chant Hare Krishna, then what will happen? The whole world become happy. 70 million. Or how much is it? 70 million means about 7 crore? Right? Something like 7 crores, yeah. So if that many people become Krishna devotees chanting Hare Krishna, then the world can still be a better place to live. So that Prabhupada is telling here. Yeah. Okay, one more verse. Read this. Please read.
Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planets. Those in the mode of passion live on the earthly planets, and those in the abdominal mode of ignorance go down to the hellish world.
Hmm. Okay. So here is the photo. Urdhvam gachanti satvastha. Those who are in Satvaguna go upwards. You will see Satyaloka and Devata Sloka on the top. Madhya tishtanti rajasa. Those who are in Rajaguna, they stay in the earthly planet. And they may become the king and they may enjoy the material happiness. And adho gachanti tamasa. Jaganya guna vrittistha. Those who are having abominable habits, they become animals. So that is described here. So now I'd like to have one activity sheet opening here. Let me open it. Okay. Now I will show you a sheet which contains qualities. You have to tell which mode it is in. Okay, humans in 3 modes. So mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So I'll tell you the characteristic and you have to tell which option it is. Insecure.
Tamoguna.
Tamoguna, correct.
Tamoguna.
Aggressive and self-righteous.
Tamagun.
Aggressive and self-righteous. This is Rajoguna actually. Lusty and greedy for more and more.
Tamoguna.
Rajo.
Rajagun.
Lust is actually Rajoguna. Greed is also Rajoguna. I want more. Okay, depressed and suicidal thoughts.
Tamoguna.
Tamoguna.
Rajagun.
Can see things in the right position.
Satvaguna.
Sattvagun.
Sattva-guna. Illusion, mad and directionless.
Raja.
Tamo.
Tamoguna.
Yeah, Tamoguna. Madness is Tamoguna. Simple living.
Sattva-guna.
Satvaguna.
Correct. Clear direction and purpose.
Sattva-guna.
Correct. Lazy and tendency to postpone.
Tamo-guna.
Rajagun.
Yeah. Laziness is Tamoguna actually. Postponing is also Tamoguna.
Okay.
Effective state of mind.
Satvaguna.
Correct. Sattva-guna. Always dejected. Tamoguna.
Tattva.
Dejected means hopeless or all depressed. That is Tamoguna.
Tamo. Sorry.
Ready to undertake work that can bring credit, prestige, and status.
Rajas-guna.
Rajaguna.
Rajas, prestige and status is Rajaguna. Anxiety and lamentation.
Rajas.
Rajas.
Rajoguna.
Actually, lamentation is actually
Rajaguna.
Tamo.
Tamo.
Yeah. Nervousness.
Tamo-guna.
Tamoguna. No interest in spiritual life.
Tamo-guna.
Rajo. Guna.
It could be both.
It could be both Rajaguna and Tamoguna. Cheerfulness.
Rajoguna.
Satvaguna.
Rajo.
Cheerful, happy. Cheerfulness, happiness.
Okay, then Sattva-guna.
Sattva-guna. Low tension, high energy.
Sattva-guna.
Satvaguna.
Correct. Sattva-guna, low tension. Actually, in Rajaguna, high tension, high energy. That is Rajaguna. But low tension, high energy is Sattva-guna. Desire for honor and prestige.
Rajaguna.
Rajoguna.
Rajaguna. Hankering for sense gratification.
Tamoguna.
Rajas. Hankering. Trishna is Rajaguna. Kind-hearted.
Sattva guna.
Sattva.
Correct. Indecisive.
Tamo. Tamo.
Tamoguna. Fearful and panicky.
Tamo guna.
Tamoguna. Want to satisfy senses at any cost.
Rajas.
Tamoguna.
Rajas.
Rajas. It is Rajas. Attraction between man and woman.
Rajas.
Rajas.
Rajas. Dull and takes no initiative.
Tamo.
Tamoguna.
Laziness. Tamoguna. No initiative means, and dullness is tamoguna. Alsipan. Sleeping without goal.
Tamo.
Guna.
Knowledge and happiness.
Sattva
Sattva.
guna.
Correct. Contemplate on the purpose of life.
No, Sattva.
Sattva.
Contemplate. Happy with his life.
Rajaguna.
No, purpose of life. Spiritual thoughts. That is sattva.
Sattva guna.
Sattva guna.
Peaceful mind.
Sattva guna.
Sattva.
Chronic negative thinking.
Tamo.
Tamas. Over ambitious.
Rajo.
Rajo guna.
Rajas. Desire to prove oneself as best.
Rajas guna.
Rajas. Yeah. So there is a desire for name, fame, prestige. That is Rajas. Confused and bewildered.
Tamo
Tamo.
guna.
Tamoguna. Too hasty and full of tension.
Tamo guna.
Tamoguna.
Tamoguna. Full of tension. It can be little Rajas also.
Yes.
Tamoguna. Low esteem and
Tamo
inferiority.
guna.
Tamoguna.
Tamoguna. Serene. Sattaguna. Dysfunctional behavior.
Tamo guna.
Tamoguna. Too busy without direction.
Rajaguna.
Rajas. Too busy. Too busy
No,
is
tamo guna.
But there is no direction. So
yeah. No. There is Rajaguna actually. Too busy without any direction. Actually, lazy person, Tamoguna person is not even busy and no direction. He is always sleeping. Tamoguna person.
Sattva guna.
Wise and happy. Sattva.
Sattva guna.
Calm,
Sattva.
clear, creative.
Sattva guna.
Sattva. Correct. So
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
yes.
Prabhuji, contemplate means thinking and on purpose of life. So thinking on purpose of life. So isn't that supposed to be Rajaguna, because he is contemplating, he is thinking, why are we living and what is the goal? So Rajaguna person will be thinking like, why are we living and what should we achieve, right, Prabhuji?
No, here contemplating on purpose of life. What is the goal of my life? What am I supposed to do?
He's happy with his life.
But that is the first step which leads to the spiritual life.
Spiritual.
He's on the purpose. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. That's what he's doing. Inquiring about the purpose of life. But the Rajoguna person is too busy doing so many things. He has no time for thinking like this also. Right? He has no time for thinking. You call him for Gita class, he will say, I'm too busy. I cannot attend. Right? That is Rajoguna. So Rajoguna person is not even contemplating. He is only contemplating how to get money, how to make building, prestige. So that is his contemplation, not the purpose of life.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Now let's go to the animals in 3 modes. Okay, mode of goodness animal, elephant. Mode of passion, tiger. Mode of ignorant, fox. So let's see the qualities here. So you have to match the qualities of goodness animal, passion animal, and ignorance animal here. A large animal, elephant, lazy animal,
Fox.
fox, very lazy because it doesn't hunt. Whenever the animals are dead, it will go and eat that dead animal. Restless, tiger, kills and eats flesh.
Tiger.
Yeah, that's why it's passionate. Fears, eats the leftovers.
Fox.
Fox. Intelligence to work with humans.
Elephant.
Correct. Fearful.
Fox.
Fox.
Fox. That's why it's active in the night, not in the daytime. And aggressive.
Tiger.
Tiger.
Gentle and strong.
Elephant.
Elephant.
elephant. It is gentle yet strong. Of course, a mad elephant is very not gentle, very terrifying. So, but generally, elephant is very strong and gentle also. And elephants can work with humans. All the animals which can cooperate with humans for working, they are in Sattva. So you can see cows and even those who are animals like elephants, they work with humans. So they are in Sattva. Now let me open another sheet.
Dogs are also nowadays, but why they are not in Sattva Guna then?
Dogs' habits are not clean. They may cooperate with humans, but their habits are not clean, and sometimes they are uh, become rajasic and they bite also, isn't it? So they have a little bit of rajasic element. So he may be a good loyal friend of humans, but animals like cows are far superior. Cows can be kept inside the home, and elephants can be tied near the home, but dogs have to be kept outside the home, right? So cows are very pure and holy, but dog is not considered to be a very holy animal. It is a good loyal servant, so it can guard the home. So it has to be given its position, right? Keeping dogs is not forbidden, but it should be kept in its place. Nowadays, what is the problem? People keep it inside the home, inside the living room. It roams around all the way in the kitchen also. So that's not good. But a cow, we did go puja in temple and we took the cow inside the altar, means near the altar in our temple. Why? Because cow is a holy animal. Even its cow dung is pure, and cow urine is also pure. It is a very pure animal. But a dog stool is not pure, right? And dog will make things dirty anywhere. So, so it may be a good animal in terms of its loyalty, but it should not be kept so intimately close to humans. But cow can be very intimately close to humans. So we have to discriminate in that sense. Okay, what position should be given to which animal? Little discrimination has to be there. Okay. So I hope that answers the question. We'll do one more activity here. We'll see. So here is a pie chart. There are different personality types. There is Sattvic person, a noble person, man of perfection with love and compassion. That's Sattva. And then there is Rajaguna, is aggressive, full of selfish drive, prone to active life. And there's Tamasic, lazy, sensuous, and inactive. And there is combination. See, we are not any person is not purely Sattva, purely Rajas, purely Tamas. There's a combination. So Sattva and Rajas combination is assertive, stands for principles and values. And Sattva and Tamas is simple-minded, lacks worldly experience. And Rajas and Tamas, opportunists, wants others to work for him, prone to violence. Generally, like terrorists, they have a lot of passion and they are not guided, so they will do harm to others. And in between, there is commoner, no guidance and prone to influences by others. They don't have any intelligence of their own. That is a in-between person. So a purely sattvic person is enlightened soul. Purely rajasic person is a commercial businessman. He is working hard for name, fame, prestige. And tamasic person is criminals and lawbreakers. But there are some people in between. So here is a learner, a combination of sattva and tamas, and combination of sattva and rajas. That is a leader with vision, noble leader with vision. Generally, they are called a Raja Rishi. The Raja means he is passionate, so the Rajaguna is more, and Rishi is Sattva is more. So Raja Rishi means combination of Sattva and Rajas. He is a noble leader with vision. So generally, kings have to be leaders should be in this position. They should have more of Sattva and Rajas. Combination is Sattva should guide the Rajas. And then there is the last one, which is opportunists, like political leader. So political leaders, they want to exploit people. They'll somehow get the votes, and after getting the votes, they will exploit the people, or sometimes they get money. Not all, but few of them we know that they exploit. And then is a trainee. A commoner is a trainee. He has to learn and he has to understand the world much better. So in this way, we can see how the modes are affecting different people. I hope you could able to understand how the three modes. So that's why I told in the last session that when you understand this 14th chapter, you can see the three modes acting in the world, and you can see that how they are people are controlled by these three modes. So you can see Bhagavad Gita in action. So now we'll go to the last section of this chapter and try to conclude the chapter. So going to the last section is pure life. So let's read this shloka. Nanyam gunebhya kartaram. If Omkar is there, you can read.
Sorry. Nanyam gunebhya kartaram
Yada drishtanupashyati.
yada drashtanupashyati
Nebhyascha param vetti.
gunabhyasya param vetti
Madbhavam sodhi gacchati.
madbhavam sodhi gacchati.
Seeing the modes as doers and the Lord as transcendental. See, and when you understand that na anyam gunebhya kartaram, there's no, I'm not doing things actually. The gunas are only controlling the things. Right? I only desire, but the gunas make the action happen. A person who can see this, na anyam gunebhya kartaram yada drishtanupashyati gunebhyascha param vyati, understanding that the soul is superior to the gunas, and understanding that the Lord is also superior to the gunas. Mad bhavam sodhi. So we should understand that I am transcendental. The soul is now caught up in the three modes, but I am superior to the three modes. If I desire, I can get out of these three modes. So such a person, mad bhavam sodhi, he can attain the spiritual world. So this is very important shloka to understand that many things are happening in this world by the constant flux of the three modes, but I am separate from it. I am transcendental. The modes are affecting my body, but the soul inside the body is not affected by the modes. And now I feel that it's affecting me because I think I'm this body. But when you understand that I'm not this body and I'm not these three modes, I'm above that, then you become realized, spiritualized. When one can surpass the modes, he can surpass miseries. Guna netan atityatrin.
Guna etam atyam tatrim
Dehi deha samudbhavan.
dehi deha samudbhava
Janma mrityo jara dukkhair.
janma mrityu jara dukkha
Vimukto amritam ashnute.
vimukto mrita asnute.
Gunan etan atitya. Understanding that I am transcendental to the three modes, and then he will not become affected by Janma Mrityu Jara Dukkha. Right? Janma Mrityu Jara Dukkha will affect us only when we think that I am this body. So when we become transcendental, we will not get affected by this, and we remain transcendental. And Vimukto Amritam Ashnute will attain unlimited happiness. After telling this, Arjuna had a question. He asked, Krishna, you were telling about the three modes and these things. So can you tell me how qualities of a person who has transcended the modes and how to transcend the modes? So three questions he asks and answers are given here. So he is telling here, Arjuna Vacha, Kair Lingesh Trin Gunanetan Atito Bhavati Prabhu, means how to know a person who has transcended the three modes. What are the symptoms of the person who has transcended the three modes? Kim Acharaha, how does he act? What is his behavior? And Katham Chaitam Strigunan Ativartate, how can he transcend? What is the process of coming out of these modes? So these three questions are asked in 21st verse and they're answered in 22 to 26. In this 5 verses, they're answered. So let's see the answers in brief. Yeah, so here's the answer. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to me. They derive great satisfaction from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. Right? Those are constantly devoted to me, serving me with love. I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So this was told in 10th chapter. So these are those shlokas from 10th chapter. So just to, Krishna had already told this, that how Lord will guide him. So the pure devotees are guided by the Lord. So that's what we can understand. So here you'll see that verse number 22, the one of the qualities of a gunatita means one who is above the three modes. So the internal mood of such a person is he doesn't hate illumination, attachment, and delusion when they are present, or long for them when they are disappear. Means he has no. It is said here in the shloka. If you see, prakasham cha na dveshti na sampravrittani. He doesn't hanker, nor does he envy. So hankering and envy are absent. That is the internal mood of a devotee. And what is external behavior? That's told in 23rd to 25th verse. Okay, what is external behavior? Even if somebody insults him, he doesn't retaliate. In sama dukkha sukha swastha sama loshtashma kanchanaha उदासीनवदासीनो गुणैर्यो न विचाल्यते गुणवर्तन्त इत्येवं यो वतिष्ठति नेङ्गते. Even if somebody insults him, he is not disturbed. That's external behavior. Like here you are seeing the photo of Vidura. Vidura was insulted with Duryodhana. What he did? He didn't retaliate. He left that place and went to Tirth Yatra. He kept his bow and arrow at the door and he went away. He didn't get too much disturbed by that. He used it as an opportunity to elevate his spiritual consciousness. Right? In that way, he behaves very externally. And what is the process of transcending the modes? Pure devotional service. Mam chayo vyabicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So Krishna is telling here that avyabicharena bhakti yogena, one should do uninterrupted devotional service. Prabhupada says here, without fail. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and then comes to the level of Brahman. So just understanding that I am soul is not sufficient. One should also act on the platform of Brahman. That's called Bhakti Yogena Sevate. Like for example, one should chant Hare Krishna, one should read Bhagavad Gita daily, one should get up early in the morning, take bath and worship the Lord in the home, offer lamp, like this Damodar month is going on, it's about to end very soon. So we should offer lamp to the Lord and then worship Him and offer bhoga to Him, take prasad. In that way, by doing the activities of bhakti, one can transcend. When you surrender to Krishna, you can transcend the modes of material nature. You can see the effect of tamoguna, rajoguna reducing. You will see the effect of satoguna increasing. So when you come to satoguna, after satoguna, you can easily come to spiritual platform. Right? Coming to satoguna is going to airport. So when you go to the airport, from there you can take off in the flight. If you cannot reach the airport only, then how can you fly to some other place? So coming to satoguna is very essential to go to spiritual platform. On Rajoguna and Tamoguna platform, it is very difficult to practice spirituality. So at least one should come to Satoguna and then chant Hare Krishna. Then he can go to spiritual world. So Prabhupada had all the wonderful qualities. Here you see the last words of Srila Prabhupada on the deathbed. Prabhupada is translating Srimad Bhagavatam. Just hear this talk.
By hearing, by discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, this Rajavan Tamogun are subdued. Then Satavan remains. Nasta prayasa avadve nistam bhagavatasya. then Ratagun Tamagun cannot do us harm.
Right. So Prabhupada is very, actually, even on the last days, Prabhupada is speaking and giving purports to his books. And very clear purports Prabhupada is writing. So Prabhupada is one such devotee who is Gunatita. He is transcended the modes of material nature. Generally on a deathbed, people cannot speak like this. Their mind is so disturbed. But Prabhupada is able to give clear purports and explanations. So that is the nature of a pure devotee. So all the qualities of Gunatita are there in Srila Prabhupada.
Why?
The last verse, so we'll end with this. ब्राह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम् अमृतस्य व्ययस्य च शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखसैकान्तिकस्य च. So here Krishna is telling that some people aspire to reach to the Brahma Jyoti, Brahman. Krishna is telling Brahmano hi pratishtha aham. I am the foundation for Brahman. Brahman rests on me. So this is one of the proofs by which Krishna is telling that Brahman comes from him. Generally, some people think that from light comes Krishna's form. That is not correct. But Brahmano hi pratishtaham. I am the sustainer of Brahma Jyoti. You will see Krishna, from Krishna's body, light is coming. So that effulgence is Brahma Jyoti. So the effulgence rests in Krishna. Okay. And Amritasya Avyasya, it is indestructible, it is nectarian. There is no death there. Shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukas aikantikasya cha. It is ultimate happiness, which is there. So in the spiritual realm. So one meaning is of this shloka is that Brahman rests in Krishna. And another meaning is the soul who has got liberated, Gunatita, he also rests in service to Krishna. That's the meaning. The pure soul also finds his ultimate resting place at the lotus feet of Krishna. So in that way, Srila Prabhupada and Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan explain this shloka. So after telling about this shloka, Krishna in the next chapter goes on to tell about the spiritual world. What is when he told about Brahma Jyoti, then he has to tell about the higher planet. What happens there? So what is that nature of that planet that Krishna tells in the next chapter? So that next chapter is called as Purushottama Yoga. It's a very important chapter and one of the very smallest chapters. It has got only 20 shlokas. So we'll do it next Saturday. So here is next Sunday. So in brief, today we discussed trap, 3 modes, race for prominence, actions in the modes, and pure life. So in this way, the chapter ends. So the 15th chapter is called Yoga of the Supreme Person or Purushottama Yoga. Hare Krishna. So we end here. If you have any questions, you can tell me. So who gets a cow body? Yeah, there's a question here. Generally those who are, of course, to get an animal body, one has to be in Tamaguna. So Tamaguna, but he has done some piety. He has done some good work, pure work. Then such a person can get birth in this cow's body. Hemara is asking, Prabhu, in this competitive world, even if we try to follow sattva or goodness, the people around us irritate and try to disturb us. How to overcome this? Okay. Yeah. So we should try to cultivate sattva and we should try to be little away from those who irritate us and disturb us. We can try to do that. So, and we should not unnecessarily get disturbed by such people around us. So we can have a circle of friends who are sattvic by nature. Just like birds of same feather flock together. Similarly, Sattuguna should people stay together with other Sattuguna people. Like in a temple, we have a lot of devotees staying here, and all of us in Sattuguna, right? Trying to cultivate Sattuguna at least. Everybody gets up in the morning at 4 o'clock, they chant, and mantras, Hare Krishna, we do Aarti, then we do Kirtan, we discuss Srimad Bhagavatam every day. It's Sattuguna lifestyle. So we should try to have more such friends who are in Sattuguna. So then it will be very easy. And sometimes we may interact with people in a lot of passion and ignorance, but we should not get affected by them. Right? To the degree we are doing our spiritual practice properly, chanting Hare Krishna properly, to that degree we can remain aloof and not get affected by Rajasic and Tamasic people. So that's what we can say about this.
Thank you,
So
Prabhu.
just before I take some more questions, I just want to discuss the plan for next classes. Let me just open this thing. I want to show you all the schedule. Okay. Let me see where we are right now. So this is schedule we had made. So 29th November, 3 modes of material nature. Okay. So which is today. So we have done it, completed. So 6th December, we are planning to do 15th chapter, 13th December, 16th chapter, and 20th December, 17th chapter. And Friday, Gita Jayanti is 18th chapter. That's what I had planned before. But now Gita Jayanti day, we will have other activities which are coming forth on that day. We plan to have Gita Dan Yajna, and we are planning to also have Gita recitation whole day, which we do every year. So this Friday session on Gita Jayanti day will not be possible. I was thinking, should we adjust this Friday, the last module, on one of the Saturdays? Is it okay? If we
Yes,
do
Prabhu.
it, is it possible? Like if we do it on, either we can do it on 5th December or 12th December. Which one do you prefer?
Anything is okay for me.
Okay. So if we do 15th chapter on 5th December, is it okay? So timing will be same, 5 p.m. to it will be 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Okay, 5 p.m. to 6:30 because 7 o'clock I'll have Mahabharat. So we'll do it at this time. Is it okay? So I'll shift this up. Okay. So this will be the tentative schedule. So on 27th we'll have revision and reflections, and 25th we may not have anything. Of course, we'll have programs, but it will not be a Gita class. It will be some other Gita recitation of whole Gita. All the 700 shlokas will be recited, and then there will be Gita Yajna at the end. So we are planning to have Gita Yajna in the evening. So this is the schedule for this week. Okay. Fine. Thank you. So somebody was asking a question. Yeah, you can ask now. Yes, who was asking? Kiran. Is it Kiran who wants to ask?
No, Prabhuji.
No. Okay. Shivani, Prabhuji is doing social work like helping poor and helpless people considered as Rajaguna. Prabhupada calls it as Rajaguna because it depends on the attitude also. If the attitude of the person is, I want to help them so that my prestige will increase, then that kind of help is called as Rajasic help because he wants his prestige and credit to be increased. And on the other hand, if the person is with the attitude of, oh, these people are suffering, let me genuinely help them. I don't want any benefit from them, but I want to help him. So that attitude makes a difference actually. Then if he is genuinely wanting to help without any need of credit, that is sattvic. But if he wants to help and he wants his photo and name to come everywhere, then that is called as rajasic help. So the attitude is also important in this. Okay. So what is the purpose of creating yugas? Because in previous yugas it was to go back to Godhead, but currently situation is sustainable all time. Actually, very wonderful question it is. Omkar is asking. So, what is the purpose of the yugas? Actually, there are 4 yugas: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Satya Yuga is mainly in Sattva, and as yugas progress, then Rajoguna and Tamoguna influence increases. And Kali Yuga is mainly in the mode of passion and ignorance, and a lot of ignorance is there. So Satya Yuga is called as Iron Age, sorry, Golden Age. Treta Yuga is called as Silver Age. Dwapara Yuga is called as Bronze Age, and Kali Yuga is called as Iron Age. So, so mode of passion and ignorance keep on increasing. So when Sattva is prominent, Satya Yuga is prominent, then people with Sattvic attitude are born more, and they get a chance to practice Sattvic activities. And in Kali Yuga, people who had more Rajasic tendencies and Tamasic tendencies, they are given a chance to take birth, and they can exhibit their desires and activities to the fullest extent. So in that way, when the yugas changes, the modes also change. The modes become different modes become prominent, and they give the chance to the living entities to exhibit their desires. So that's the way the Lord has made it. He has made it cyclic. So sometimes Satguna is prominent, then Sattvic people get a chance to practice their activities, and Rajasic people, then Tamasic. So in this way, it keeps changing. And that's the reason why so many species are also made. So many animal species, human species, according to the modes only. The 84 lakh species are categorized according to the modes of nature. There are some species in Tamoguna, some in Rajoguna, some in Sattoguna. So according to the desires, they are given bodies to fulfill those desires. Okay. So that is the reason for the creation of yugas and the creation of species also. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Rishi.
Prabhuji, my doubt is when like Lord Balrama killed the Dvidya monkey. So is that Dvidya the monkey which helped Lord Ram conquer Ravana, or is it some other Dvidya?
That Dvivida is same who was in Ramayana.
Prabhuji, then why was he killed and why did he become evil?
Yeah, so he was a good person. He was serving Lord Ram, but it is said that he did not like Lakshman. He had little offensive mood towards Lakshmana, so he didn't accept him. So that's one reason which is given by Acharyas. Another reason is he took association of Narakasura, who was a demon. And Narakasura, he became a demon by association with Banasura. So in this way, even if somebody is very good, but with a bad association, he can become bad also. So that's why we should not associate with people in Rajasic and Tamasic. That's very detrimental. One can spoil. We know so many. Like I was giving classes in NIT Suratkal. So in one of the first years, one boy was coming. He was from a very nice Brahmin family. He was coming with tilak here and then very nice looking. But after 2 years, because of bad association in the hostel, what happened was he started drinking, and he got into the habit of drinking alcohol, and he spoiled his life, isn't it? So even if somebody is good, even if you are sattvic, if we associate closely with people in Rajoguna and Tamoguna, then we also will get polluted. So that is the lesson we learn from this Dvivida, that he was good, he was serving, but one should not offend other devotees, and one should not take association of um, demonic people. So then we also can get corrupted. That's the lesson from this story.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So any other question?
Prabhuji, one last doubt.
Yes.
Prabhuji, like Brahmanas, how can like some Brahmanas they get angry and they curse other people, and there are incidents of Brahmanas when they become lusty. Also, like Parasara Muni, he became lusty over Satyavati, and even Dronacharya and Kripacharya were born because their parents Sharadvan and Bharadwaja became lusty upon seeing an apsara. So how can Brahmanas be completely in the mode of goodness?
Yeah, so that's why mode of goodness is prominent in them. That's what it says. Mode of goodness is prominent in them, but sometimes they may show some symptoms of Rajoguna and Tamaguna, but it's not very prominent. It may be a little momentary, that's all. But generally, they are in the mode of goodness. So, because one is not 100% in goodness, one may get affected by that. But in case of Parashar Muni and Satyavati, it's a divine will of the Lord. They are not in mode of passion or ignorance. So the Lord chose them uh, to appear as their child. So at the time, he made that situation happen in such a way that Vasudeva was born. So sometimes it's not just lust that gives birth to a baby. So dharma aviruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. So Lord says that I am that kama which is against, which is not against religious scriptures. Means that which is dharmic, which is intended to produce a pure child in this world, that is not kama. Krishna says, I am that energy is mine. But here, if somebody is lusty and he is wanting to enjoy physical pleasures because of that lust, so that is rajasic. Okay, but if somebody is doing, like even great devotees also produce child, right? But that is not just a common lust. That is transcendental. That's because they are producing great devotees who can do good in this world. So it's a consciousness which determines. So in case of Parashurmani, it was a divine intervention. So and Satyavati was chosen to be the mother, and that time that situation and the desires were invoked in their heart. Okay. And in case of others like Vishwamitra and all, yes, they were trying to be sattvic, but sometimes one may get carried away by rajas and tamas. Just like electrician, he works with electricity, but he's very careful. He knows how to handle electricity, but sometimes he may get a shock. So like that, even Brahmanas also, sometimes they may show little anger, sometimes they may um, get affected by tamas and rajas, but that is not prolonged. When they realize, hey, I'm getting affected by tamas and rajas, they immediately set right their consciousness and increase their austerities and try to overcome those modes. So it's a constant struggle. So that struggle is for everyone, and one should try to be vigilant and increase one's spiritual practice so that he can easily fight the mode of tamas and rajas. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hmm.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have one question.
Yes.
Like we want to serve Krishna, we want to settle in Sattva Gun, but to survive in this world, we have to study, we have to earn our living, we have to go to college, we have to means get some good job or some we have to start a business. So all these kind of activities we have to do, and while doing this activity we get attached to this activity. Like if I'm studying, so I always think like I should get some good marks, or I should achieve first position in college or school.
Mm-hmm.
So how
Mm.
to overcome this? And my means most important question is like how we can know that we have to do, means Jijamata has means given birth to Shivaji, and that's why we are living in the Swaraj. So that was the means main motto or aim of the Shivaji's life. So what is our aim in this life? Like our it means the most important aim is to achieve Krishna, but along with this, what is our like why we are born in this world, and what we have to do in this world for the people.
Mm. So very good question and elaborate question. Uh, firstly, you're asking what we have to do in this world, and you told that we have to work, we have to study, we have to work, we have to earn money. So many activities are there to do, and that requires some passion. And then you also told about Shivaji, who was a Kshatriya, who was a warrior, and he tried to achieve Swaraj, and he also said that purpose of life is to attain Krishna. That is very clear for you. So that is a real purpose of life. So we have to keep that goal in life, like it's a pole star. We have to reach the pole star, no? Like that's Krishna. Keep that inside, and all our activities we should be dovetailed with that goal. So the main goal is to attain Krishna, and there are other things. Okay, I need to maintain my body, so I need to work. So what work I should do? Okay, let's choose a honest profession. Let's not choose some cheating professions. Okay, then what profession I'll choose? Let's see what I'm good at. Okay, according to my nature. Okay, if I'm good in teaching, let me do teaching. If I'm good in software programming, let me do software programming, become an engineer. Or if I'm good in whatever else, because according to the modes I've got in the past life, I have got some certain type of swabhava. So if Shivaji Maharaj was a Kshatriya, he had that swabhava for being a Kshatriya. So he became a king and he fought. And he was a devotee, yet he fought. And Arjuna, he was a king, yet he fought. And Krishna told, no, giving up work is not for you. You do karma yoga. So whatever you are doing, do it for Krishna. So Shivaji Maharaj also, whatever he did for protecting Sanatan Dharma, the Vedic Dharma. Isn't it? So in that sense, his fighting is also spiritual. Right? If somebody fights for protecting Vedic Dharma, that is spiritual. So in that sense, whatever you are good at, you do it for Krishna. So that's the purpose. So in that way, we are maintaining our body also, and we are going closer towards the ultimate goal, right? So in that way, we should determine our goals.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji.
You're engineer. What are you
No,
doing?
I'm BSc third year student.
Okay, you're doing BSc, right?
Yes.
You're Vinith Pro's relative, right? If I rightly
No,
understand.
no.
Okay, okay.
Thank
So
you, Prabhuji.
yeah,
Yeah.
so whatever, like you're doing BSc, you're studying Bachelor of Science, you can become a science teacher. Like my father was a MSc in chemistry.
Yes, Prabhuji, I want to means I feel that I should learn Bhagavad Gita. I should learn all the like Vedic scriptures, and I should teach all these Vedic scriptures to the young generation. Like
Mm.
I have a younger brother, so I always think like he should also know all about our Hindu culture, all the
Yes,
like
yes. Mm.
principles. And if today's generation will not learn this, so means after some
They'll be
years
lost.
they, yes, means they will suffer more,
Mm.
like more
Correct.
like anything. So I think like I should learn this, and along with this practical education I should also teach this education to
Yeah, yeah.
students.
Correct. Yeah, and you're also very good debater, no? I saw that when you came for debate, you presented very nice points. You quoted a lot of shlokas in the debate
Yes,
competition, right? So you're very good in teaching. So you can use your whatever degree you're earning in teaching. And when
yes,
you're teaching, you can also connect it to Krishna, right?
yes,
Like for example, BSc, you study a lot of chemicals. If you do masters also in certain subjects, like my father is a chemistry teacher. We can easily say Prabhupada also was a chemist. Srila Prabhupada, he was a chemist, pharmaceutical industry he had.
like
So
Prabhuji, but what happened generally when I means sit for studies, so whenever I read the books of physics or chemistry, like I don't know why I'm learning all this. Like means we
yeah,
just like learn the statements, but we don't know how to use this in practical life. So
correct.
I get frustrated while learning all this education.
So I have one suggestion for you. There is one book called Lives Come from Life.
Yes,
Life comes from life. So you can read that book. Srila Prabhupada gives wonderful. Your life will, your vision will become very clear. I
okay,
will
Prabhu.
share it with you. Uh, I'll share the link on the Telegram group so you can read it from there. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Mhm. So as basically you can very easily prove that life comes from life, not from chemicals. So
Yes,
you can use your science studies to prove God, to glorify God. That's the purpose of science. Purpose of science is to glorify God using science. So you can do it
yes,
very
Prabhuji.
nicely. You read this book, you will get a lot of tips.
Yes, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. So Hemaraj is asking, can you please add me to this group? Yeah, I have pasted the group link. You can click and join the Telegram group. Okay. Yeah. So thank you very much. We're already close to 8 o'clock. So very nice to be with all of you. So kindly attempt the quizzes. So we'll be giving certificates around Gita Jayanti time. for all those who attempted the quizzes. So kindly attempt it. And I'll be sharing one sheet where your scores of the previous thing is there. I'll just find it out where it is and then share it with you. Okay. I will share it with you in the Telegram. You can just cross check, and if there are any doubts in that, you can just contact Shrikar. Then he can help you with all the quizzes. Okay. Thank you very much. So we'll end here. We'll meet
Hare
again.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. We'll meet again on Saturday, 5 o'clock. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. We'll end here.